the industry sort of come to a place where independent artists are caught in this conflict of sorts of doing what they really want to do and doing something that's more likely to be famous and popular. Do you ever find yourself struggling?
We really feel that these are just labels, to be honest. Like an independent musician or an indie musician should just do this kind of music, should just do that kind of music. I mean, who are we to decide when the people out there want to have a good time, to be honest. So for us, yeah, of course, initially it was tough, like, you know, just like sticking to these labels and staying true to ourselves. But then we realized that when you start putting your music out there, you're also exposing yourself out there. All right? So when you do that, you're vulnerable to a lot of things. And we didn't really want to get that serious, like, you know, as a band, in the sense that we always wanted to be a happy band, a simple band, you know, and which people won't like take 1 hour or 2 hours to understand. I mean, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. But then we are like, you know what? Let's just.
This is your space. You belong to this space.
Exactly. So I guess that is where we believe that it doesn't matter if you're an independent musician or a Bollywood composer or a Malayalam film composer or a heavy metal guy. You know, when you know your audience out there, you don't stop to anything, or don't restrict yourself to just doing one particular kind of thing. Just go all out and experiment in different spheres, be it covers. We love doing covers, to be honest. You know, as much as we love originals, we love our own take on covers, and we love the fact that people love it. So that's what gives us happiness, and that's where we believe that once you start labeling yourself as guys who do only original compositions or guys who do only covers, that's where you like kind of stick to a thin line. You know?
Tejas, you've done your fair share of covers. Be it Garaj Baras and the Pardesi medley. I thought the video was pretty mad. What made you choose those two songs? Is there any kind of music that appeals to you on a very specific level and you say you're going to do a cover?
Okay, so first of all, I mean, to be honest, we are a mad band. I mean, in terms of like, we are great friends, we are family. So we treat each other as mental people, like mad people. We trip on each other. Oh my God, we pull each other's legs like crazy. We're still kids that way. So when we choose a song as a cover, if that song doesn't reflect ourselves, like if it doesn't have that happiness quotient or like a really trippy quotient, or if it doesn't have a basic, what do you call it, like a madness to it, we don't, there's an appeal to us. So that's why we chose like Pardesi and Garaj Baras, because Garaj Baras has a crazy musical heavy element to it, and Pardesi is basically a mad song. And Edward, who plays the acoustic, he came up with the acoustic riff, and which we thought was brilliant. So we were like, we could use this for an original composition, or we could just think of a cover for this. And then we were like, wow, why don't we just like put Pardesi for this acoustic riff? And then it worked well. And we tried it out before shooting the video. We tried it out in live shows. We saw the audience reaction, and the audience seemed to love it, and we were like, well, hell yeah, let's just make a video out of it.
Can you sing us a bit of that?
Yeah, well, I wish Eddie was there because he's the star of this.
Let's imagine Eddie's here.
Yeah. But yeah, it goes, oh, Pardesi, मीठा सा चढ़ा है बुखार, अरे मन थारा परदेसी, ओ परदेसी, ओ परदेसी, राम जी करो बेड़ा पार, अरे मन थारा परदेसी. It just goes on like this, and when we get down to a very dubstep beat, and then we just change the arrangement. And I hope Amit Trivedi doesn't curse us, but
no, you know, I think this cover sort of represents Lagori in terms of your sounding as a band, because it's very Hindustani classical on one side, and it's got a rock flourish on the other side, and a bit of soul and funk sort of flows through the
Shalini gets
song.
that.
Yeah. When did you first discover that you could have a sound that's sort of diverse and eclectic, and you could sort of come to fondly call it something like folk rock?
We still don't call ourselves folk rock. We just use it because it's simpler to get yourself out there. We started calling ourselves Indian rock or Indian pop rock or Indian pop folk rock or whatever it is, doesn't matter. But I think the first time all of us jammed together, we realized how different we are in terms of our influences. all of us listen to a lot of similar music.
No, you don't.
But when it comes to like, as a musician, you know, we are completely different.
You want to play different kinds of stuff.
Yeah, because as you said, like funk, Shalini plays a lot of funk. She loves funk, you know. That's where the whole slap bass element comes in few songs. We give her a space. We're like, dude, take it over, man. You're awesome with the slap bass and the bass in general. So Eddie, the acoustic guitarist, Geet, the lead guitarist, and Vinil, the drummer, they had a classic rock band before Lagori in college and after college too, called Fahrenheit. And they used to play a lot of classic rock and a lot of Iron Maiden, and they used to play a lot of Dream Theater.
Yeah.
So these guys have like crazy influences. So I think after they moved on from Fahrenheit, Geet still stuck on to his classic rock influences. Vinil still has his metal, heavy metal, death metal influences. That's why we use a bit of the double bass in some of our songs. And then surprisingly, Eddie moved into country music. Like, he's always been into country music, but I think he used to play the electric guitar for Fahrenheit, and then he discovered the acoustic guitar, and then he discovered artists like Tommy Emmanuel and like some great artists like that. So I think Eddie is great that way because he balances out that heavy sound in between the instruments. Like, there's funk, there's a nice bit of classic rock, there's a bit of like heavy drums, and then there's Eddie who comes in with a nice warm balance of the acoustic guitars. And then I saw these guys jamming, and then I was like, wow, where do I see myself here? Because I used to sing for Kathak troops, semi-classical stuff, you know, not classical, pure classical, semi-classical stuff, thumris and stuff. And I was like, oh wow, where do I fit in here? And then I realized that this could be an interesting mix. Like, I mean, think of great bands like Junoon and stuff, you know. I was like, wow, this would be a really good, interesting mix. So that's when we decided that the best thing to do is just like, in the jam room, throw open your influences, just jam. We'll see where it gets to, like where the music gets, and then we can start structuring it and then arranging it and then making a song out of it. So that's where all our influences collided into like one genre called, I think, happy music or Lagori, I guess.
Yeah.